Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here, and I'm joined by Rob from the Lego Life app, and he's going to give us the inside look at the app and kind of what it can do and the design process behind it.
Sure.
So I really appreciate you talking with me here. Thank you.
No worries. Nice to meet you, Josh.
And if you just want to start off by maybe telling us, when the idea for this app first started and kind of what the process has been as you've come up with like the design idea for the app.
Well, I mean, it's somewhat of an evolution of Lego Club. We've always wanted to have something for the kids who really love Lego. And for a long time, that's been primarily a magazine. And we still have the magazine now for some of the younger kids, and that'll continue to be the case. But, children's habits and behaviors change, and the way they spend their time, their free time changes as well. We want to keep Lego bricks as relevant as possible for those kids. So we also were aware that for some of the older Lego kids, when they start to get 9, 10, 11 years old, they have a desire to share their creations with a broader audience than just their friends and their family that they're with. So, but social networks essentially are designed for teenagers and adults, 13 plus audience. There's very little, pretty much nothing out there that would allow kids to share their Lego creations with a much broader audience. So we took those things into consideration and decided to create Lego Life. So I've been working on it for 2 years. I've been at Lego for 3 years, and I was originally working running Lego Club, and then I kind of took over this, built the project up, and started development work on it. We did an early launch beta version in the UK in September last year, and then we launched this version in February and started rolling it out across the markets. But it's still in a very early form, and we have taken a kind of a more of a traditionally digital approach to development rather than a Lego approach to development. So we've released something that we know isn't perfect, that we know can get better, and we're collecting the feedback from the kids and the users and looking at the data and then improving it over time. So we've already made some improvements recently in terms of the experience, and I think over the next few months it'll start to really improve and become something quite special for Lego kids.
Okay, that's interesting. So this was definitely aimed solidly at kind of a kid audience. There really wasn't, you have Facebook and other social networks if you're older. This was aimed specifically at kids for a way to share their creation.
Exactly, specifically for Lego kids. So, if you're an older Lego fan, you have Rebrick and Lego Ideas, and a lot of them share their creations on Flickr and other third-party platforms as well. And obviously, there's the much bigger ones like Facebook and Instagram. So, but yeah, if you're under 13, you don't really have anything you can use. So the two key pillars that we built Lego Life on are creativity, so inspiring kids to be more creative with Lego bricks, maybe reducing some of the barriers between the themes and encouraging kids to cross themes and kind of just build with a Lego system. And then the second thing is safety, because if you're building a social network for kids under 13 and you are Lego with the values that we have as a company, it has to be 100% safe for the kids, and it has to be 100% trusted by the parents. So that's been one of our biggest focuses, is making sure that it's as tight as it can be in terms of children's safety online.
And I have tried the app out a little bit on an iPad, and yeah, I think those two things that you mentioned are definitely apparent in both those. The creativity side of it, letting kids post things and things like that, and then also definitely the safety side, as far as making sure that whatever is on there, parents could trust their kids to be able to use it, and there wouldn't be any issues there like you might encounter on, like you said, other social networks like Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, everything that's uploaded that a kid has created themselves or wrote themselves in their own words is moderated. First by algorithms, and then secondly by a human eye before it goes live. And then we have also emoji and sticker chat, which is much more canned. That doesn't get moderated, it's instant, but it's largely positive, framed in a positive language. So all the emojis are pretty positive reinforcement, all the stickers are very positive as well. And they're kind of the general principle, if you haven't got anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. And we've tried to come at it from the point of view of obviously a child who's probably never used a social platform before, rather than an adult that is used to using Facebook or Instagram. Now, it has some similarities with Instagram in the way that it's laid out, but that's because there's only certain ways you can put images on a page.
There's only so many layouts
on a
there.
screen, right? So, and we are continually adapting that. Actually, we're probably going to change and tweak it over time, the way the feed works and looks as well in the future. But I think, in the experience itself, the safety side of it is that the kids are anonymous in the experience. They get given the username and they get to create a minifigure of themselves. And in that sense, you can't actually share personal information on Lego Life. And that was a very conscious decision we made. Gives us a lot of constraints, but I think with constraints come creativity as well. Soon we're going to allow kids to start going back and choosing different usernames that they might have missed, making sure they understand this is going to be their final username, because we get a lot of kids saying, oh, I want to change it, or I didn't realize that was going to be my final username. So we're going to respond to that feedback and kind of we're doing that across all the features actually. So, right now it's images. At some point in the future, we'll be able to upload stop motion videos as well. We've recently added in like the ability, if you create an avatar now, you can just share it directly to your feed if you want to. There we go. So the kids are creating stuff and then sending it directly to the feed rather than having to do workarounds and stuff. So yeah, and then eventually, actually not that far away, we're going to start adding in rewards, so that the more you upload, the more creative you are, the more things you can unlock for your avatar, the more stickers and emojis you can unlock to use in the experience. So it starts to become, we're kind of trying to encourage and reward creativity. And you can see in the experience, you have all sorts of stuff. You have people doing really funny, goofy things with minifigures. You have the bits and pieces of a Lego Bugatti Chiron, an alarm clock, obviously a Lego one. These are all different types of content in there. So you have polls and quizzes, and then you have building challenges as well.
So that's kind of the official Lego content mixed in with sort of like kids.
User-generated.
Yeah, okay.
And then when you go into, so we have this tagging system. So it's kind of like a My First hashtag, if you like, and kids can choose that. And if they go into both themes and interests, so if I go into vehicle stuff, a group, so you can follow the group if you're a kid, and then that will start appearing in your feed, essentially your central feed, and you can filter it out. So this is just UGC in here, so user-generated content that kids created. Then you can say, okay, I just want to see videos, so I can just see all the videos that have been posted in there, or I just want to see the building challenges. So these are all building challenges to do with vehicle stuff, essentially. So then you can start to see how our kids navigate their way around. And you can, when you upload something, you can add up to 3 tags. So that then it's very different from Lego.com. Lego.com is Star Wars section, Technique section, Friends section. Whereas this is, you can tag like something with Friends, Star Wars and Technique if it has those elements or anything to do with that in it. So it's much more around kids being able to mix and match with what they think is the most interesting creation. And then if you go into Batman has his own account on Lego Life as well, obviously, along with other characters, and he comments on what other kids do. So if you go in, let's say to here, the back wheels can turn, which is obviously good if it's a car. And then you can go down. I think there is a comment from Batman at the bottom. Yeah. So Batman comments on the kids' creation, and I think that's pretty cool, because with all the reaction we have from kids when they realise, oh, that's actually the real Lego Batman. The younger ones, go like, oh wow, and the older ones like, well, I kind of know it's not, but that's still pretty cool anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have obviously a lot of characters there from the different Lego themes in there, all interacting with the kids on a daily basis. So yeah, when you take into account the groups that kids follow and the likes that they put in, then you can start to really personalize the feed to what they like. So your feed would be different from my feed, essentially, and what's in the middle there, which is cool.
Yeah, how much did kind of you, as you worked on this, and just everyone involved with it, learn from past things that Lego's tried? So I was just down in the memory lane, the archives here at Lego, and saw the the Life of George app box that had been there. And so kind of past things like that, what did you kind of learn from things like that, and what
a lot? Life of George is actually a really great app and very simple, I think, and I think that was to its credit. I think that we, for that particular one, that was an Apple exclusive.
Okay.
I think we decided that we want to be agnostic when it comes to platform, and the adoption of something like Android is huge now. So we want to do something that can appeal to as many kids as possible. I think something like Lego Universe, which was a very big, ambitious project, but it took the Lego way of developing, which is from the physical side of things, which is make an awesome, amazing box of bricks with a cool building experience. Take 3 years to create that, put it on the shelf. You can't do that with digital experiences. You have to launch something, and then you have the ability to find out from the user base what's working and what's not, and then improve and tweak it. With Lego Universe, maybe we applied more of the physical building approach to that experience, and ended up with something that was maybe a pretty good experience, but too late. And not as relevant for that audience anymore, because it'd been pushed back so many times to wait for it to be perfect. So we've taken the opposite approach. We put something out that's probably not ready to be out there yet, and we're taking all of the data and the feedback from the kids and improving it over time. So it's much more like a traditional, in the digital space, that's just the norm.
Right, yeah,
It's
you
not
kind of get the
necessarily-
user feedback and see what you
exactly.
can do better and things like that.
But it's not necessarily the norm for us in Lego. So we're trying to adapt ourselves and be kind of receptive to new ways of developing. We certainly are on this.
Would you say there's kind of a larger push within the company as a whole to kind of incorporate traditional Lego bricks with technology using apps or just computers and things in general? Is that something the company is looking at more and we'll see more of in the future, kind of taking things online into social networks and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so. We are very aware of, we look at consumer trends and particularly kids trends. We try and immerse ourselves and understand where kids' heads are at, because we're thinking about sets for 19 and 20 now. And who knows what kids are going to be in 1920. Right now, they're spending so much of their time on YouTube. Is that going to be the case in 19 and 20? Is it going to be they're spending time on Twitch? Is it going to be they're spending time somewhere else? There's so many places where if we try and say, okay, well, YouTube's massive now, let's put all our focus into YouTube for 19 or 20, then by then it might be too late. So we have to be able to be more reactive. We have to be able to kind of react to things more quickly. One thing that we're trying to do with Lego Life is actually treat it as a platform and integrate it into other digital experiences. So we're looking to integrate it into Lego Worlds next year, so that if you sign into your Lego Life account, into Lego Worlds, you can share your 3D creations through Lego Life. Someone else could just download them and put them into their copy of Lego Worlds. So you're not just sharing physical builds, you're also sharing 3D builds that actually you can then integrate into your experience. Same with some of the Lego apps and games. In a more simple level, we're going to have it so you can sign into that, just take a screenshot of something cool that you might have just done or you're about to do, and then it will just go straight into the feed in Lego Life. So you actually have a central hub of all Lego creativity. And then the rewards and the minifig you've created of yourself follows across all the digital experiences, becomes your Lego identity for kids in all of the different Lego digital experiences.
Yeah.
So this is the first part of it, and then it starts to expand out afterwards.
That's interesting. So you're kind of tying everything together so that you can incorporate it in all.
So it's like right now, I think it feels a bit like if you go onto Lego.com and then you play Lego Worlds and then you go into Lego Life, they feel like they're obviously all Lego. So they still have that Lego brick and DNA minifigure in them, but they don't really feel like to a child they link together in any way. So we're not taking the system in play concept into the digital space in that sense. So we're trying to do a little bit more of that and just make it cool for the kids. Yeah, essentially that's what you need to do. Even if it is slightly different, as long as the kids think it's cool, that's the main thing. So that's what we're desperately trying to do, is make this as cool as possible for kids.
Well, that sounds good. I think that's a lofty goal there to
Yeah,
have.
exactly, and that's not necessarily easy.
We'll look forward to more updates then and continuing to make it better and
Awesome.
see what Lego Life brings us in the future. I appreciate you sitting down and talking with me here. Thank you.
No worries, thanks Joshua.